Hello, everyone, and welcome to the live magic Q&A tea party with me, your host, Madame Pamita. I have my tea, which is actually just water. I'm cheating. Today, I didn't have time to make tea, so I'm having water. Water's better for you. Oh, are you drinking Coca-Cola, Professor Porterfield? Ah. This is the live magic Q&A. We meet every Sunday at 5 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Mountain Time, 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. And we are answering your questions about magic, hoodoo, divination, spirituality, law of attraction, anything you have questions about, how do I do a spell, or what do I need to do in this situation, or recommendations. We got answers for you. So if you'd like to join us, if you're seeing this on YouTube perhaps, and you'd like to join us, it's very easy to get the link to join us for our Zoom session. All you have to do is go to spellsquad.com and sign up, and you will get the link to join me and my guests. This week, my guest is someone so near and dear to my heart, someone I've known a long time, and an amazing, so knowledgeable, very, very knowledgeable hoodoo practitioner, Professor Porterfield. He is amazing. He is entertaining. You guys, I feel like I get a vacation today, because all I'm going to do is just let Professor Porterfield answer all the questions, and I'll go what he said, and then we'll be done and we can move on to the next question. Professor Porterfield, welcome to the show.
Thank you,
Welcome.
Madame Pamita. Thank you.
Oh,
So
it's so
happy
great.
to see you.
I'm so grateful to have you here. It's so great to see you again. I haven't seen you in a while.
So good to see you as well.
Well,
And
yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was going to say I know we're going to have a lot of questions for you, but tell me a little bit before we get into those questions. Tell me a little bit about what you've been up to these days and what you've got going on.
Well, what I've been up to is staying quarantined. And it's been, I take extended journeys to the mailbox and to the kitchen. It's good. That's about it. I think really, I've also been doing a lot of online classes and seminars. I've been in some online symposiums and some online galas throughout the year, and a lot of those are still available. You can find them out on the interwebs. And it's been a great honor to be asked to participate in most of those. And I think my only real news is that this week I found out that A Deck of Spells has gone to its fourth printing.
Wow.
So there is now a fourth 2020 printing, and I predict quite arrogantly that there will be a 2021 printing, because we've reprinted almost every year since it was originally published. So it's on the fourth printing, and if you want it, you can get it. You can go out and get it on Amazon. You can get it directly from like Emoji, but Amazon will get it to your house the next day.
You can get it at Parlor of Wonders too. I sell it in my
Parlor
shop.
of Wonders. Yes.
Yes,
That's right.
we always sell out of it. We have both your books, Sporting Life and the Deck of Spells, and the Deck of Spells always goes fast. And in fact, your book is the reason I stock these vintage style playing cards, because I feel like you need to have vintage style playing cards to really have the full Professor Porterfield deck.
I brought some just tonight. I brought some vintage playing cards just tonight without the rounded corners.
Oh my gosh.
And the old full figures, so they're not double-headed. So yeah, just in case, I brought them along, because I don't really go much anywhere without a deck of cards and a knife.
I love that. And those cards with your book is like the perfect combination. And that's why I stock those cards. I got to share something about that book. That book has been so inspirational to me. I've read it, cover to cover more than once. And there's two things that I personally have taken and used in my practice. Number one is your yes/no spell technique. Pull 3 cards and you get a yes, a strong yes, a no, or a strong no.
Very old technique. Yeah.
Yes, and I use that all the time with questions when I'm doing a tarot reading and someone just has a quick yes/no question. I don't want to pull out a bunch of tarot cards to get into, it's the Page of Swords and that could be this and that could be that. Nope, I just want to straight up yes or no, and we pull out those playing cards. And some of my clients, I've done it for them before, and they'll be like, I have a question that I want you to use the playing cards.
Right.
because they know that they'll just get that quick yes or no, and they'll know it's so simple and so easy. It's right there.
And
Yeah.
that 3 card yes, no, well, yes, no, yes, but no, however method is the first step in my methodology of teaching how to read the playing cards. I'm like, you start here and you get that down pat, then you learn the suits so that you can have a little more influence on what is that no, what is that but, what is that however, why is the but a but, and why is the however a however, and then you learn your rankings, and before you know it, you're actually reading playing cards, and the way you start is just with 3 cards because you want to be able to say, okay, it says all yes, right, but why is it a yes? Right? Because you can just take it as a flat answer, but then as you learn, you can find more depth in that answer, step by step by step by step by step. And within a year, you'll be reading playing cards
Oh my
very
gosh.
well. The name of the book is A Deck of Spells. And it looks, again, we had a question about the book. A Deck of Spells looks like this, yellow, hoodoo playing card magic in root work and conjure. And like I said, you can find it at the Parlor of Wonders. You can find it on Amazon. You can find it through Lucky Mojo. There are lots of places that carry it.
Yeah, it's such a brilliant book. And the other thing that I got out of that book was after reading that book, I got very inspired by because you're manipulating the cards.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, oh, why couldn't you do that with a tarot deck? Like, why couldn't you do that with tarot cards? And from that sprang what ended up being and evolved into my tarot class, my tarot packet, spell packet class,
Oh, wonderful.
which is the class I'm teaching, the next workshop I'm teaching, which is January 3rd,
Bravo.
is the tarot. I didn't even really think
Brava.
about this or plan it that way, but this is great that we're talking about this. That's the next workshop that's coming up is the tarot packet, making magic with tarot spell packets. And it was inspired by Professor Porterfield and his book, A Deck of Spells. So
Well,
that,
thank you. That's wonderful. How
yeah.
gratifying.
Well,
I generally do advise people, like, I say you can do this, and the resistance I find about doing it, and this reason I'm so glad that you're doing this kind of a class, is the resistance is I paid $60 for this tarot deck, right? So it's like, fair enough. That's where I'm like, use a playing card deck because you can get them for $2.50 at the gas station, right?
yeah.
You can literally get them for $1 at the dollar store. But I think the most important thing that I always want to pass on about it is, because it is important to other forms of divination, is when we read on someone, as we know when we do magic, we often require some sort of connection to that individual, particularly if we're doing contagious or sympathetic style magic. We want, quote, witnesses or personal concerns. And my proposition, and it was the proposition of my teachers, was that once you've read on someone, you already have that. If I read on Madame Pamita as an example, and she comes up as, oh, the Queen of Clubs, the teacher, okay, I can now take that Queen of Clubs and say, well, I've already got her, right? I don't need to have her hair, her nails, her blood, her sweat, her tears, her clothing. I've already got her in this card. And therefore, I can now work this card because this card has already reached through spirit, through ether, through a magical process and linked to her. It is literally representing her. And therefore, I can take that card to bless her. I can take that card to, God forbid, curse her, to do love work on her, etc. And therefore, sometimes maybe we don't want to do that with a deck of tarot cards because we want to keep reading that deck because it's gilt edged and whatever, it has the beautiful pictures. But you do it with a deck, and then you can take that card and do whatever with it. Throw it away, burn it up, burn a red candle on it, get wax all over it. Doesn't matter. And you don't now have to say, how the hell am I going to get some of Madame Pamita's dirty underwear? Which is probably going to be problematic. I mean,
my underwear is never dirty. So
well, there you go.
So you know what? That brings up something very interesting because as a tarot reader, and I mean, I'm maybe not the typical one because I'm reading all the time, right? I have decks that get
Uh-huh.
mangled. I used to, when I was doing readings in a a salon, and I have people shuffle, they record cards through a deck every 6 months. So I had these decks out that were love their ratty cards. But what you do with all these decks with like bent corners and missing cards and that, or you get samples or something else.
Yeah. You're slowing down for me.
You know, a card here or there.
Uh-oh.
You can do questions. I want to first ask, have you come up that you talk about? Anyone up?
So you have frozen on us and gotten very, very slow.
I know. I disappeared. I'm back.
Yes, and now you're
Can
back. Okay. Well, it was all of us, folks. It wasn't just you at home. It wasn't your internet. It was Madame Pamita. So there you go.
It went away, and I went, oh crap.
Yeah,
then it came back.
We could kind of hear you, but you were slowly starting. And then you would come back out. I don't know. And so it was fun. So there's a little cabaret every evening, folks.
Well, what I was saying during all that time was, we have, number one, do you have any workshops coming up?
I will be having a workshop coming up pretty soon in the new year that will be my cartomancy class, and it will be a multi-part. It won't be just one session, right? And in it, we will go through the methodology of how I teach playing cards. It'll be about 6 classes altogether. And we'll be posting that up. It'll probably be through my friends at the Cauldron Black in Salem, Massachusetts. And that'll be an opportunity. You can come and take the class, take all 6 classes. You'll know how to read cards by the end of it. So.
And they can find out about that by probably going to your site, signing up for.
Yeah, you can find news for it probably on my site, which is professorporterfield.com. You'll be able to see it on Facebook. You'll be able to see it on my Facebook professional feed, the Professor Porterfield Facebook page. It'll be on Instagram. I'll be tying notes to ravens and squirrels. It'll be around.
Ravens, bring me some messages from Professor Porterfield.
Yes,
some spam from Professor Porterfield.
Nevermore. Right. So.
Let's get to some questions, but I wanted to let people know they're going to get a little sample of that playing card reading, because we're going to give away a little mini reading at the end. You said okay, Professor Porterfield, that you would do it.
Sure.
So what is your favorite emoji?
What is my favorite emoji? I don't have a favorite emoji because I was born in the 20th century. So I guess we can use this tongue stick out. We can use emoji.
Okay. The tongue sticking out emoji
Sure.
for people that don't like emojis. So either put tongue sticking out, because not everybody has an emoji because they might be on their computer, or
see, Cal knows how to do it.
Or the tongue sticking out emoji. And you will be in the raffle for a reading at the end. We'll count them up and I'll have him pick a number, and then you'll be in that way. That's the way you let us know that you'd like to be one of the people we consider for the reading at the end. Right. Okay.
You cannot enroll for the cartomancy class yet. It hasn't gone up, and I'm not sure how much it will be. I try to keep all these things not cost prohibitive. Let's COVID. Let's charge as much as let's not. So.
Well, are you ready for a question?
I'm ready for a question. I was born ready for questions.
I know you were born ready for questions. All right. So our first question is from Nina.
Yes.
And Nina says, what's a good ritual or spell for healing jealousy and increasing self-love?
All right. A good reason for teaching self-love or addressing jealousy. So I'm going to have to now ask Nina clarification on this. Personal jealousy or jealousy of others? So we now have to wait for Nina to answer us back, because that's going to give you 2 very different answers now, isn't it?
See, I would just assume and go with what I thought it meant. They
Yeah, I
also
don't
know what
know.
means.
I don't know where you meant.
I know.
Others. Just see, she meant jealousy of others. See? And within the
Okay.
sentence structure,
All
you would
right.
have thought personal jealousy, but no. Okay. So this is two prongs. So let's start with self-love first of all. All right. First, let me say this. We want to always walk on both sides of the street. Okay. We've all met those people. They only walk on the mundane side of the street, and they are dry ass, dusty, boring sons of a bitches who can't even express any happiness when they see a child believe that Santa Claus is coming. And unfortunately, we've known those people that only walk on the arcane, magical side of the street, and they never engage with the normal and the mundane. And if you watch them long enough, they become way flaky. So what we want, everything's, oh, whatever, I had a flat tire, it's a curse. What does it mean if I saw 3 blue jays? That there were blue jays. So what we want to do is we want to walk in the middle of that road. We want to be able to go back and forth. So the first thing we would say is not the answer you were expecting. The first thing we would say is work on yourself. Maybe go see a good counselor. Do some normative within the phrase, over here on the mundane side, type of work about self-love and addressing your issues. Realize that you're a grown-up and very few people have power over you except maybe the IRS and people who carry guns. And so, oh God, can you imagine the IRS carrying guns? And so basically realize that as an adult and as a free adult, you're allowed to love yourself. You're allowed to, eat a whole goddamn chocolate cake if you want to. All right. I mean, you can do this. Now, on the arcane side of it, one of the things I would recommend for this and is get a hold of, it's getting a little hard because, we had a rough year, didn't we? Get a hold of a master root. So this is a master root, and they are very distinctive. They always kind of have this big, kind of knobbly head. It almost looks like a Venus of Wiltdorf kind of head, and long tendrils, master root. And get a master root. Master root aids us in having mastery over primarily personal things. I want to stop smoking. I want to do better in my art. I want to do better in my work. I want to stop procrastinating. I need help overcoming alcoholism, although I'm in a program, because again, remember, both sides of the street. And same thing here. I want a master root. Where can you get a master root? Well, you're going to have to shop around. My mama told me you better shop around.
They're hard to get. I can't even get them anymore.
But you can find them. It's not impossible. But just write that down, master root, and start looking out on the interwebs because they've got everything. I don't think old Jeff Bezos, curse his black heart, is going to have them on Amazon, but you can find them other places. And what you will want to do is you want to get this master root. You will want to engage in some conjuration because let us remember, we don't merely want to engage in pure materia magica. So, as Agrippa says, it is not good enough. It said it is not good enough to merely possess the mustard seed. We must bruise, by which he means crack, the mustard seed to receive its full essence. So too, when we engage with materia magica, we also want to engage in conjuration. So how do, Professor, well, that's a great little thing for you to say in a thing. That was quick, but how the hell do I engage in conjuration, you old Jewish son of a bitch? Well, here's how you do it. The simplest conjuration is this. You take the master root or whatever you're working with. This could be any root. This could be any herb. This could be any mineral. This could be any zoological part. And you awaken it. Now, you awaken it by doing the following steps. First, you give it something. In this case, we're giving it something of spirit, something of power. In an ATR, you might describe it as ashe. You take it and you breathe on it. You've now given it part of your vitality. And now you begin to conjure. And what is the first conjuration you will ever do with something like this? You say, wake up. Very simply, wake up. Now you've engaged in the simplest conjuration you can engage in. Congratulations, kids. You've taken your first step towards being a conjurer. Now, that being said, whatever the hell you do, please don't leave this class tonight and wander around your house, waking the fuck up everything in your damn house. Okay, because then you'll have to find Madame Pamita's number or my number and give us a call to get that the fuck sorted out. And if you're like, well, how could that go bad? What, you never saw Fantasia? You don't, Mickey? You don't remember basically like, oh, I can totally fucking screw job my way around mopping the floor, right? How did that end? Well, I'm going to wake up the salt in my cabinet. I'm going to wake up the stove. I'm going to wake up my couch. And then when your house goes wonky, you're like, what the hell's going on here? Well, now everything's very active and conscious. So you wake it up, then you dedicate it to what you're saying. I need help doing this. You're talking to it. You are conjuring. Conjure. What does conjure mean? Conjure. To make an agreement together. To make an agreement together. Everybody thinks it's, oh, it's evocation. I'm calling up spirits. Invocation. I'm calling out a spirit. I'm doing all this. I'm controlling. I'm making circles on the floor with black candles around it. And I've got silver swords. No. To make an agreement together. Okay. Can you wake up a deck of cards? You sure as hell can. And I do every single one of them I use. And you tell it what you need. I need you to help me master not self-love. I need to master the issues that are keeping me from loving myself. All right. Then you'll feed it. You'll feed it with a couple of 3 drops, 1 to 3 drops of whiskey, or 1 to 3 drops of an alcohol-based cologne or perfume like Hoyt's. That will be better than Florida water. Florida water has a different kind of connotation, but Hoyt's or another alcohol-based perfume, which we see so often in the American, by which I mean the United States of America, Conjure and Hoodoo. And that's to, okay, here's your little price. We're making an agreement together. I'm giving you something so that you'll work for me and help me master those things, those feelings, those attitudes that are keeping me from loving myself, which is going to be individual to you, right? If somebody has an issue about loving themselves, it's going to be for a variety of personal reasons. Then you will wrap this up in a piece of cloth. You can wrap it up in a handkerchief. You can wrap it up in a bit of red flannel, and you will carry it with you. Put it in your pocket, put it in your purse, keep it generally around you, keep it next to your bed so when you're not active. And again, every so often around, probably in this case, probably around the time of the diminishing moon, you will give it again 3 drops and once again talk to it and tell it it's a little talking cure from the other side, right? But you'll tell it, hey, I'm doing better with this, or hey, it's a little different than a mojo bag because you will open it back up to get back to the root, right? If you're not going to seal it, you will open it back up so you can take the root back out in your hand and breathe and talk to it and tell it, hey, I'm doing better about not liking the fact that my feet are so big, whatever it is that makes you not like yourself. But I'm still having problems with the fact that I hate the sound of my voice in a recording, which means you are a member of the human race. And that's the way I would do that. In terms of addressing other people's jealousy, first advice is ignore the fuck out of them. Like, this is literally the best magic there is. The best magic in the whole world is that when someone says, I have an opinion about you, and it involves fill in the blank, the most powerful magical ritual you can do is this. Oh, really? I wanted to say something to you. It was on the tip of my tongue. What was it that I wanted to say to you about your unsolicited fucking opinion about me? So, but let's say that's not enough for you. If you want a little more, what you can do, particularly if you work with a lodestone for money drawing, etc., you can add a piece of pyrite next to your lodestone, or you can use a piece of pyrite set up the same way you would set up a lodestone in a little dish, maybe with some sand under it. You're not going to feed it magnetic sand because it's not magnetic, but you will still, again, wake it up. That simple conjuration I showed you, again, give it its little 3 drops of whatever, whiskey or alcohol-based perfume, and again, talk to it. Reflect away their jealousy. All right. That's basically it. Otherwise, it depends on the level of how nasty it gets. I mean, like, I've got people that are so jealous of me. They're taking my job away from me. They're taking my house away from me. They're interfering. They're calling CPS on me about my kids. Oh, you probably want some sort of graveyard work. That's a different class. That's a different meeting. So, but that's my general advice on that. There you go.
I love that. You know what I love about that too is like I constantly encourage people to, when they work with their tools, to develop a relationship with those tools, and when you work with plants, to develop a relationship with that plant. We all want everything, right? We want to have all the plants and we want to have all the herbs and we want to have all the tools.
Yeah.
But I find it is a richer experience, and you will become a better magician, a better spellcaster by focusing on just a few. Because you know what? There's a bazillion love herbs. There's a bazillion money herbs. There's a bazillion, tools that we can use for these things. Why not find the thing that you feel that connection to, or you've been advised to work with, like the master root? Maybe you didn't know anything about master root. Okay, I've gotten a message. I should work with master root. Now I'm going to develop this relationship with master root. So the only thing that I would even add to that is to also start to have that two-way communication where the master root, you pick up on its essence.
Yeah.
How is that, to listen to that master root? So how is it different when I pick up a Queen Elizabeth root
Right.
and a master root? How is it different when I pick up an Angelica root? Do I get a different message? Do I get a different feeling from them? Do I get,
Well, they have a different spirit, so I would hope you do.
yes, exactly. And to have that conversation so that it's not, I'm a more of a person of, like, when you say that conjuration where we're working together,
Yep.
I'm not commanding that thing.
No.
You do. I'm saying, hey, you're my ally. You're
Right.
my herbal ally. You're going to help me with this project that I'm working on. And I picked the best guy or gal or, whatever to work with me on this. And that's you. And let me find out more about you, not just
Absolutely.
you just being a servant and going off and doing my thing.
And the two points I would make about that is, A, you're going to end up doing it anyway. You can go out and buy 56, 70, 100 different herbs and roots and minerals and zoological products. And over the course of X period of time, you're going to end up primarily only working with 5 of them. Okay. 5 to 10 of them. And the others are going to sit on the shelf and you're going to go, why the hell did I buy that? The other thing I would say is that certainly there is a time and a place for commanding, but that's going to come later, right? That's going to do, how deep are you going to get involved in this? You don't make an agreement with every ghost. You don't make an agreement with every malevolent spirit. Some of them you do end up going, no, son of a bitch, I said, but then you have to have some backup to that. You have to have some or else. Okay. And we have to remember that we're talking about families of spirits, which means every master root, we'll just use master root as experience. Every master root has spirit. Every master root, therefore, has some kind of a personality and an attitude and an essence and a power. But not every master root is equal. Not every master root is going to be the same. I'm a Jew, right? You can meet me, hang out with me, go to the bar with me, go get a restaurant, become close friends. I'm not every Jew, right? I'm a Jew. This is a master root. Your master root might be a little different than another master root. It's not going to be wildly different. It's not going to be like, oh, my master root kills people. Okay. I can't, I'm sorry, Bronwyn, I can't tell you the taxonomy of the master root right off the bat.
It's it's something like imperial. I can't pull it off
Yeah,
off the top of my head either, but
imperius, yeah.
yes, and the
Now,
second word has imperial in it. Imperial, something like that.
we were asked, can a master root help me free me from student loan debt? Only if you're having problems with your student loan debt in that you have some other thing that needs mastery. Meaning, like, I need to master my work. I need to master my spending. I need to master the fact that I spend money too quickly. I need to master the fact that I don't put savings away, right? You can't say, oh, I'm going to master student loan debt. Well, listen, you probably have already mastered student loan debt in so much as you have a ton of it. So you have to, again, we have to think about how we're going to come at something, right? The thing about magic in almost any tradition, in almost any culture, is it's not a switch. It's not a push button gumball machine. Put your money in, turn the dial, get your little prize. How do we approach it? What are we doing? We are literally attempting to change nature by will, for an old chestnut of a definition. Therefore, we have to know how we're trying to change it, right? What's best? I'm in bed and I want the room darkened. Which is best? A, buy a clapper tomorrow and do that. B, get the hell out of the bed and turn off the light. C, I got a gun. Pew! Take that light bulb. Those all will make the room dark. Okay. But you've got to ask yourself, which is the way I want to do it? And you will find a magical answer or a ritual or a process or a spiritual answer that meets every one of those. Reaching over and turning it up, getting up and turning it, buying a clapper so that it turns it off for you, or taking out a gun and trying to take pot shots at the light bulb. All right. And each one has those magical solutions, all have those standard sort of things like, oh, the clapper means I have to get something and put it together and plug it in, and I have to do extra work. The gun means, oh, I've got holes in the ceiling and shattered light bulb on my bedspread. They all have their things. So that's that.
You can tell.
And
You're
Chris
from
gave us the
Texas.
name.
I was going to say, you can tell you're from Texas and I'm from California, because my solution was close your eyes and just wait for the light bulb to burn out.
Mm.
That was my crazy solution from California. In Texas, no, I'm going to shoot that MF.
Get her done. Get her done.
I love
Get
you.
her done.
Oh my gosh, it's so funny. So we have a question about astrology, Cal. So we're not going to answer that today because Professor Porterfield says I'll do anything except for astrology. So Cal, bring that back next week. Madame Nadia is supposed to be my guest next week, and we'll see. She knows about astrology, so we might talk about that. So bring that next week.
Two madams, no waiting.
Alyssa has a question. I need to get rid of a horrible upstairs neighbor quick. He's a Gemini, if that helps. You know what? No one ever says astrological things, Professor Porterfield. When you come on, they're all saying astrological things.
I know the way this goes. So he's a horrible neighbor and you need him gone. So this pretty much means you're going to probably try to hotfoot him. Okay. But you need to be very careful about this because he's an upstairs neighbor, meaning you are in the same dwelling with him. If he was living on a separate piece of land, he was living in a separate house, a separate apartment building, no problem. I could immediately teach you how to take about 6 cards, put them together, burn them down, mix the ash with hot foot powder, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Can't do that because then you'd be burning your own house down. So what you're going to be doing here is I don't know you, and so I apologize if you are not someone that compounds your own hot foot powder. Go and purchase hot foot powder from a reputable source. What does that mean? That means it should not be a weird color, blue, purple, light green. It should either be a reddish or orangish or earth colored color. Okay. It should not smell pleasant. Okay. It should not smell like root beer. This is a true story. I've encountered root beer smelling hot foot powder. Any of that. Okay. It should smell softly of maybe pepper or peppers or a little sour, but probably it should smell a bit like sulfur. Okay.
Yeah,
That's when you know you've got the real stuff. Then what you want to do is you'll want to go outside of this apartment building that you live in and pick up some local dirt from, like, this is natural dirt or mud here, right? Make sure it's dry. Mix it in almost equal or slightly greater parts with the hot foot powder so that you don't see it. So it doesn't look like an orangish, sulfurish, yellowish powder, right? And then you'll try to scatter it near his door. If he has a doormat, that's great. Put it under his doormat and put it on top of his doormat. I know a lot of people in apartments don't have doormats. Some people do, right? And you'll basically want to hot foot him. In the meantime, you can take a playing card dedicated to him. You say he's a male and he's a Gemini, so I would probably suggest you might use the King of Diamonds. If he's younger than you might use the Jack of Diamonds. And what you'll do is take a marker and write his name on, when you look at a playing card, these are antique playing cards, but on standard playing cards, there's a white bar all the way around. So in the white bar above, you'll write his name. If you happen to know his birth date, you can write it down here. You could also write his literal address, meaning making sure you have the apartment number. Okay. And you will write over it in an X. So you're going to write it twice, leave, go, move. Okay. And then you can take that card, burn it to ash, and add that ash to the hot foot powder, or you can take it and burn a candle on top of it. At regular hours, I would probably be burning it on, I'd probably burn it on a Friday, and I'd be burning it afternoon or after sunset. And I'd be, again, breathing on that candle, waking it up and telling it, we need him gone, get him gone, move him, go. And while I did that and the candle was lit, I'd also be speaking to him, you so-and-so, John Smith, you need to go. You need to go. Move, move, move. Specific color of candle, I would just use a white candle. You have to remember that aniline dyes for candles were invented in the early 1900s, 1920s. And that's when the big candle color craze started. And now everybody's like, we have to have a purple candle for majesty work and mastery work. We have to have a blue candle for peace work. We have to have a green candle for money work. Well, let me tell you a little history. Before people used green colored candles, even in the age of aniline dyes, before green became a popular color, it used to be gold and silver, because people were paid in coins rather than being paid in paper money. And then as people began paying paper money, they started using green. In fact, at one point in time in California, there was a small moment in the mid 50s to early 60s in which people started using blue candles, light blue candles for money work, because checks in the state of California, particularly state checks, came on a blue background. So I would use a white candle, because you can do anything with a white candle. I can bless you with a white candle. I can heal you with a white candle. I do love work with a white candle. I can curse and kill you with a white candle. So, and they're easy to find. What's a good candle? Go to your grocery store and buy Shabbos candles. They're small, they're relatively cheap, and they've been made under the laws of cleanliness in Deuteronomy. So they're already semi-spiritual. So boom, cheap, easy spiritual candles from the grocery store.
That's a great one. That's a great one. I'm going to give a little caveat in there too, just FYI. So you know what you're doing, Alyssa, sorry. When you're doing hot foot work, you're cursing someone, you're sending someone, you're saying, get the hell out and may your life be crap, right? So you're saying he's a horrible neighbor. So if you're going to do hot foot work, you're cursing him.
Mm-hmm.
So you may want to do a little wash with hyssop, or do a little wash after you do that. Make some hyssop tea. When that tea cools down, wash your hands with it, just to know that you're clearing off that work, because you're doing something pretty hardcore.
And I took that as a given. And I'll tell you why I took that as a given. Because we are having a conversation about driving someone out of their home during the 2020 clusterfuck of a goddamn year. So I kind of assumed that you had already crossed the line on fuck curse him, as opposed to, well, I want him to go to something better. I just don't want him around here. But yes, she's absolutely right. Please don't walk in the hot foot powder yourself. Don't get it on your own shoes. Clean up afterwards. You can clean your hands again with hyssop tea or Florida water after you deploy it. But then you should also wash yourself with hyssop. You can even give yourself a hyssop bath and say the 51st Psalm while bathing and bathing yourself down if you're particularly worried about that. You will not burn the card up on the candle. You would put the card under the candle. If you burn up the card, you can just burn it up with a match and add it to the hot powder.
And I got a tip about that too. If you're burning any paper and you're holding on to it, what happens is it starts burning and then it gets close to your fingers, you're going to drop it. So have a piece of tin foil out to collect that ash. And so when your card gets too hot to hold, you can just drop it on that tin foil or a plate. But a tin foil is nice because you could just wrap it up in a little envelope. And now you've got an envelope of that ash that you don't have to worry about it, that burned ash being all around your house or anything like that. So that's just a practical magic.
I prefer to keep things in foil or Mylar, because you remember plastic and cloth are not oxygen barriers.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
there you go.
Yeah. So the foil is super handy. Now, if you're doing any kind of work, because I often recommend like banishing work, burning something, burning a piece of paper, burning something. If you burn it over that foil, and let's say you're going to take that ash out to a crossroads, or you're going to take it out into the wind and let the wind take it away, you've got it all contained in that little foil packet, which is super handy, because then you don't have to be sweeping up and cleaning up ashes.
But be mindful of the foil. Remember, tin foil has a shiny side, which is going to be reflective, casting away, sending, and a dull side, which is just kind of a neutral side. So think a little bit about that. Like, which way do I want? Like, if I make a packet to protect myself, to reflect things that are put on me, I'm going to start with the shiny side down. I'm going to put my herbs and various things for protection in it. I'm going to fold it up so that it's all shiny on the outside so that when I carry it, it's still reflecting.
Yeah. And then the one last thing too is that when you burn that fire, you have that fiery piece of paper and you drop it on the foil. Foil will conduct it. The heat will conduct. So don't just touch that foil right away because it's going to be hot and you're going to burn your fingers. So give it a minute to cool down. You know how I know this? Guess how I know this, Professor Porterfield?
Did you do it?
The School of Hard Knocks.
Yeah.
That's how I learned all my magic.
She's nice. She's nice. She gives you that advice so you don't burn your fingers. I would have just gone, fuck it, let them burn their fingers. How are they going to learn?
They're going to learn. They're for sure going to learn.
Come on. Yeah.
All right. So let's get to one more question and then give me, while you're answering that question, I'm going to count the number of people with the sticky out tongue thing. And then I'll know how you can pick a number between. So if I'm not looking at you, if I'm looking off to the side, it's
no problem. Yeah.
All right. So, oh, okay. This is a great one. I kind of would say like, makes me think. Bruce has a question. When I misplace something, I'm too panicked and stressed to use a pendulum. Is there another easier magical way to locate lost objects?
All right, Bruce, may I ask you quickly as we run down on time here, so get your fingers ready. Were you raised with any particular religious background? Would you have said I was raised Protestant, I was raised Catholic, I was raised Jewish? You were raised Jewish. All right, so you're screwed. Because if you were raised Catholic, no problem, man. We go get St. Andrew and that hardworking
St. Anthony.
Anthony,
See, you are Jewish. You don't know the saints.
I don't even know the right saint, right? You get St. Anthony and take his shit away from him and do all that, but you're Jewish. So if you're Jewish and you need it immediately, you could do a 4-card spread. Okay, it's kind of like dowsing, where black means no, red means yes. Like which direction do I go? Left? No. Ahead of myself, yes. Okay, I get a yes, so I don't keep going, right? I move forward, I go, etc. Or you could do the old Jewish tradition of if I don't need it right now, right? Like it's not my car keys, right? Or my wallet, and the cop's going, I just, I need it. Then what you do is right before you go to sleep, you say, you'll say Shema, and you will ask Hashem to bring you information in the dream. Like, where is it? Show me in the dream. So, but if you need it immediately and you're a little too anxious to use a pendulum or dowsing rods, you might try dowsing rods. Sometimes you'll find that easier than a pendulum because they don't have to hold it steady. They're just steady in your hands, right? But you could also do that cartomantic. Do I go left? Do I go right? No. Do I go forward? Yes. Do I go back? Yes. And just keep narrowing it down the same way you would narrow things down through dowsing, right? Like if you had 2 dowsing rods, you'd go, oh, it's north. Oh, wait, it's a little to the left. That would be my general answer.
Okay, Professor Porterfield, we have to pick our number between 1 and 32. We had 32 people. We have 72 people in the room, but we had 32 people brave enough to get a reading from you.
1 and 32. So we're going to take number 21.
Okay.
Dum bum 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 bum.
Aaron Kim is number 21.
Aaron Kim, what's your question?
Okay, so I'm
going to be a 3 card, so let's not,
Let's get Aaron Kim here. They are, if Aaron's been in here before, she knows.
There she is. All right.
Okay, I'm going to allow you to talk. Hi, Aaron.
Hi. Oh my God, I wasn't expecting to be picked, so I need to scramble and think of a question. Oh God.
Well, what's a topic? Maybe you can pick a topic that you're, is on your mind right now. It doesn't have to be maybe a detailed question. Like,
okay. How about like a work-related question?
Sure.
About advancement.
Okay.
Career.
All right. Are you wanting to know if you will have career advancement?
Yes.
All right. Now we've got a question. See?
Thank you.
So let's get all shuffled up. By the way, boys and girls, mathematicians have proven to us, because they've got nothing better to do with their time, that if you riffle shuffle a deck of standard playing cards 7 times, it will completely randomize that deck, and that occurrence of cards, that order, they're all in that order, the likelihood of it happening again is a number that is 1 in a number so long that if you printed it out on a strip of paper at 12-point font, it would stretch from where you are right now to the planet Jupiter. So 7 shuffles and you'll never get that again. So, which is when you can tell the magic's working, because those cards start coming back. This is Aaron Cameron. She has a question about her career advancement. Have advancement in her career. Show me. Look at that, kids. You get to see how it's done. The answer is no. So you're not going to have any career advancement in the near future. So I would relate that to a period of definitely 4 to 5 weeks. So definitely into the new year. All right. And here are the cards you got. All right. Let's see if we can get them in order so it makes sense on the screen. You got the 2 of clubs. The 2 of clubs is called the handshake. So it says that although your work is steady, you're not quite as stable in that work location as you could be. Except because it's a 2, it suggests that that's not unique to you. That's more surroundings around work in general, meaning those who are in your position, those who are doing what you're doing, others that you may work with at a peer level are also probably not in positions for any sort of advancement. But it does say you're around somewhat trustworthy people. Jack of clubs. This has 2 possible meanings. The first meaning is it says that you may not be seen yet as accomplished enough to receive advancement from others, but it also says there's someone near to you at work who may. Do you work with others? May I ask you that?
I do, yeah.
Okay, somebody's screwing stuff up, and it's making everybody look bad. And we know that because the next card is the 3 of clubs, an argument. Okay. And this is saying, these 2 together are saying there's something going on kind of within the group, right?
Yeah.
My unit, my whatever, that's dissatisfying to higher ups. So I would not look for any advancement within this year, possibly through January. Maybe as January slides out, you might see a change in that. We see that again from our minimum of 5 weeks here. 3 and 2 is 5. However, it will build. This will be building to kind of a problem, and it will come to a head, and there's a hope that then it will get situated out, and then the rest of you who deserve advancement can get advancement. So, and this is definitely the answer to your question because they're all work cards.
Oh my God. And it makes a lot of sense. Yes. Thank you so much, Madame Pamita and Professor Porterfield.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Oh my gosh, thank you. All right, let's see if I can. There we go. Well, we got a couple more minutes. If you want to take one more question, I kind of thought it takes me a lot longer, but you were so just, right on it. We can take one more question if you want to take one last one. Do you want to?
For a reading or a question out of the chat?
Question out of the chat.
Yeah.
Answer
yeah,
question.
absolutely. Hell, I could do
Yeah,
2 questions.
Okay.
Go.
All right. So let's see. Okay. Nerve is asking the question, what's a good inspiration for creative endeavors spell? I'm seriously blocked.
Get you a little cloth bag. And into that cloth bag, put bay leaves. Okay. At least a minimum of 3, but 7 and 9 are really good. And just standard, like, out of the spice aisle, bay leaves. Okay. Not, well, you have to go to find the bay plant and gather it under the light of the dark moon while standing. No, just bay leaves and allspice berries. Okay. Tie that bag up, and it can be like one of those little muslin tea bags that people use, and put it inside your pillow. Okay, like you have a pillowcase, put it inside your pillow so you can sleep on it. And again, breathe on those herbs, tell them what you want, talk to the little bag before you go to bed. I'm going to go to sleep now. Help me have more creativity. Help me gain this as I rest, and see if that can work for you.
That's a great one. Allspice is so great for upliftment. Will you feel good about it? You'll feel excited about it, energizing. Bay leaf is so good for confidence and conquering situations.
To crown your head, because we're talking about creativity, it's going to be a kind of a mental process to crown your head with victory. Yes.
I feel like that also too could be like this very wonderful like empowerment kind of thing, and that empowerment that you get will make you energized and enthusiastic and give you passion about your creativity again.
Absolutely.
I love that.
But remember, conjure, don't just possess. You can get results, boys and girls, from possessing. It's good enough to just stick bay leaves and allspice in a bag and put it in your pillow. That'll work, but it's better if you do a little more with it.
Yeah, develop that relationship with your tools for sure. Okay, one more. You want to take one more? Okay.
Go for it.
All right. Uma Lynn has a question. I have a question. I want to turn people to good to me. They're very mean to me. So I want to turn people aren't being very nice to me. I have helped them with everything, including money, and now they call me toxic.
Okay. I'm about to get in trouble tonight. So here we are. Ready? Here's trouble. First, take a good long step back. Look at what they've said. Be probative and say to yourself, am I a little toxic? Is anything I'm doing here toxic? First, reassure yourself that even though you've been helpful and even though you've aided them, see what they're saying. If, and I'm not saying this is true, I'm not criticizing you, I'm not putting this on you, I'm saying if, big IF, you go, shit, they kind of got a point, then just address that and the problem will go away. If not, if you can say, absolutely, I am not being toxic in this. I have self-examined. Remember, children, a life unexamined isn't worth living. If you can examine yourself and say, I am absolutely not toxic, then A, examine the people that are saying that, what you've done for them and what they've done for you. And if it's a negative cash flow event, a negative energy flow event, get the fuck rid of them. I mean, that's the magic of it. The magic of it is to go block, ban, delete, bye. Screw you. Okay. If it's not negative and you just think this has gone off the rails someplace, make a sugar jar. Do not make a honey jar. Do not make a molasses jar. Do not make any kind of thick, slow liquid. Everybody loves honey jars. Everybody loves molasses jars. Everybody loves all this stuff. It's like, no, children, honey is slow. We use it specifically because we want to slowly make someone like us better. Use sugar instead. You can go as far as doing as the old folks did and use white sugar for a white person, brown sugar, which, by the way, brown sugar is only sugar added to molasses until it becomes, again, particles. Brown sugar for a person of darker color, white sugar and brown sugar mixed together until it's light for someone might be Hispanic, etc. Okay, put it in a jar, write their name out, write their birthday out on a picture of them, get a little tiny picture, put it in the tiny little jar, fill it with sugar. If you want this to go even faster, put some cinnamon, powdered cinnamon in there. Again, put some allspice in there. Okay. If you want them to be a little more under sway from you, put some licorice in there. Okay. Seal it up and burn a candle on it. In this case, you will do a series of candles. You will do it on a Wednesday. You will do it on a Wednesday around noonish. You want solar height on this. Okay. You will start with a series of white candles and you might burn 3 Wednesdays worth of white candles. Then you will go to 3 rounds of pink candles. If this is someone you actually want to love you, then you'll go to red candles, 3 red candles. If you want them to have, you want to have sway over them and you need them to be more like you're kind of in a boss situation, you'll burn purple candles for 3. But don't, and this goes for all of you who are doing honey jars, love jars, etc. Don't start with red. White, pink, red. White, pink, build to whatever color you're going, because when you start a love jar or a friendship jar or a sweetening jar of any kind, and you start with the red candle, the purple candle, the big candle, that's the equivalent of, here's Vivian who says she loves the sugar jar spell. So if I was doing a sugar jar on Vivian and I started with a red candle, that's the magical equivalent of me going, hey, baby. Damn, It's fine. Okay. The literal magical act that you're doing to sweeten someone can shock them away from you because they go, holy shit, I had this weird dream about Sam and we were having sex. Right? No, creep their asses in. White, I'm your friend. Blessing, love. Everything's cool between us. Everything's pure between us. Pink, oh, look how friendly we are. Red, now we're getting hot. So that's my advice on that.
Yeah, that you know what? I wonder with Umalin if there's also an issue too that you may want to in that reflective time of how you may want to reflect on the people that you're picking and who you're lending money to or giving money to, and are you giving that money to get to win their love or to get them to love you, and are you picking up without having a good picker, not saying that this is for sure the case, but to say, oh, am I just picking up somebody who's going to use me because I can give them money, and then they're going to be take off once they get the money, or be mean to me once they get the money? So
Right.
money doesn't buy friendships, and money doesn't buy love. You know, it will buy the person hanging out with you till they get the money, but then once they got their money, they're gone.
Now,
And so
see how nice she is? That is what she just said is the exact same thing I said, only in the nice version.
I'm a
Whereas
lady-hearted worker. What can
Whereas
I
I
say?
said, if this is a negative cash event, just fucking get rid of them. All right. But we were asked a question, how long should we burn those candles? Again, I would do 3. So we're talking about candles like this. We're talking about like, quote, pillar candles. Okay. Like, or chime, I think is the more appropriate term, candles. So you would do burn all the way down, right? So you burn 3, you burn 1 white candle. Next week, you burn another white candle. Next week, you burn another white candle. Then the 4th week, first pink candle. 5th week, second pink candle, burning them all the way down. So in other words, to go from first white to last red as one example, that's going to be 9 weeks, right? So there you go.
Would you recommend, so when I teach people that they're working on a honey jar, sugar jar, they're working on some sweetening spell like that, it's long-term work and they work until they get the result. Do you think in this case she would then go back to doing another cycle of 9 weeks,
I
or
do the exact opposite.
oh, you say
I do
give
the
it a
exact. To me, there is not like love sick, heart sick, friendship sick is as serious as cancer. Okay, and this is a warning to everyone. We all worry about quote fraudulent workers. Let me tell you when you're the most vulnerable to a fraudulent worker, when you're love sick, when you're heart sick,
yeah.
because you'll do anything. If you left the doctor's office and he had just told you had 3 months to live because you had T-cell cancer, and you walked outside and there was a guy in a trench coat with dark glasses who said, hey, I've got a cure for T-cell cancer, man. I got 6 people who'll tell you it works, but I'm going to need $250,000. 2.5 hours later, you would have a stocking mask on and a gun in your local savings and loan. Okay. You do anything. And it's the same for love. So I always put limitations on work like that. And 9 weeks, come on, man, that's a pretty big period of time. Okay. If you can go 9 weeks, that's 2.5 months almost, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And not get a result, you need to rethink these relationships.
Yeah. Well, but I think there's situations, I mean, depends on the situation. I definitely say like give it a time limit. But let's say they're working on their husband and that's a marriage and they're trying to get their marriage better, then you are going to work on it till you get the result. I mean, unless
Well,
you divorce,
yes,
unless I don't,
no. I
you're
mean,
going to
you're
only get,
nicer than me. You're a lot nicer than me. My attitude is this. Do you really want to be fucking married to somebody you have to do constant goddamn magical
yeah,
work
tell me
on?
about that one. I agree with that.
I mean,
I
come the
agree.
fuck on.
I don't want to have somebody that I have to work on magically to get a good relationship.
And all of this is to create a window. It's not to create a difference. It's not, well, it is to create a difference, but it's to create a window for you to seize the opportunity. In other words, if you're doing nothing except magic, you're not working on yourself, you're not communicating with them, you're not giving a normal relationship give and take. When they come to you and say, hey, I'm sorry I offended you, but sometimes you can be really whatever, and you're not self-examined, then there's no point in doing the magic. Magic is to give you the opportunity. If you do luck magic so that you roll 7s and 11s at the dice table and you don't walk away at some point, you just keep riding until the spell uses up, you deserve to leave the casino with $0. This
true.
is about making opportunities. Get them to call me. Let's have more peace. Let's have some gentleness. Let's have some more passion if you're married or in a physical relationship, right? Let's have a little more that then I will seize on, right? Like, this is a well-known story. I know dozens of people who have done this. I want to have sex with that person over there. I do magic to lure them to me sexually. Then we have sex, and I am not on my game. I do not bring my big dick game. I do not bring my lay them out so they don't know their name and all they want is a sandwich and to be hydrated afterwards game. And they never came back. Right. You sold them a bill of goods. You did
True.
magic and then you slept with them not to your best ability as a lover, right? Like, why would you do that? You did all this magic so that you have the opportunity to prove yourself. I can be a good friend. I can be a good mate. I can be a good worker. I deserve more money. Whatever it is, I need more luck that I can spend my luck, because luck is quanta, boys and girls. Luck gets spent and you have to re-get it. Okay. Why not? We're supposed to be doing this for the opportunity. This is literally carpe diem. We are forcing away. We are opening an opportunity. If you don't seize on that opportunity, then you might as well not have done the spell.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm a highly opinionated asshole. I apologize.
I
ladies
know
and
it's
gentlemen.
100% true. It's 100% true. So, so for Umalin, it's like do it 9 weeks. If after 9
Mhm.
weeks, get rid of, that'll give them a good opportunity. If these are friends, fair weather friends, that you'll get to see your best outcome with them in that 9 months.
And
or
if
9
during
weeks.
that 9 weeks they try to communicate with you appropriately, communicate back with them appropriately. Maybe have a conversation about, I'm sorry that, I came off as toxic. I kind of looked at myself and I didn't think I was being, can you tell me better why it's toxic for you? And then maybe modify. Maybe there is some peculiarity. Maybe there is something that you didn't do in ill intention. You're not toxic, but they have a bruise on
Yeah.
them that maybe you just need to help them heal or be a little more gentle with, or maybe not. Maybe you're like, fuck you, I can't deal with your demands, but you get to make the choice.
Yes. Perfect. Well, gosh, that hour flew by, didn't it, Professor Porterfield? Oh my
It's gone.
gosh, it was so great having you on. So great hanging out
Thank
with
you.
you. I just love it as an excuse that you and I get to hang out. You know
I was
what I
honored to
mean?
be asked. Honestly, I was like, you asked, and I was like, hell yeah,
Uh,
I'll be on. You
well,
bet.
we'll have to
I'd
have you
go
back
another
on.
hour if you let
I
me.
know, I know. We'll have to have you back on in,
Well,
in a few months. We'll have you back on
whenever.
again when you have something new to announce or whatever's going
Absolutely.
on. You
Yeah.
always have something going on. And have a great, I want to say to you, and I want to say to everybody here in the room, have a great New Year's. Happy winter solstice. Happy holidays to everyone. Enjoy the new year. Let's set good intentions for 2021 of health and safety and abundance and peace. Let's do that for this year. Let's really get together instead of going like, oh, you know how we always do, oh, so it's 2019 sucked. No, I know this year sucked, but let's not focus on that. Let's focus on good things coming to us in the new year.
And
How's
if
that for
that's and if
Pollyanna?
that's and if that's too much for you, if that's too active, if you're like, I'm drained, I'm depleted, I'm depressed, I don't have the energy to be cheerful and hopeful, then do the thing that requires you to do nothing. Don't be an asshole.
There you go. There you
Right?
go.
If you don't have enough energy, and most of us don't right now, to be a force for light, then just reject the idea of being a force for darkness. Just say, I'm not going to do that. Right?
Yeah.
It's the least I can do. And what's the least you can do? Absolutely nothing. So there you go, right? Just say, I could be a prick to him, but I'm not, because ho, 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 mistletoe. There you go, pal. That's my gift to you, is I didn't be an asshole to you today. Batteries included.
Oh my gosh, Professor Porterfield, you're the best. I just love you and adore you. Please say hi to your family from me.
I will.
Everybody love. You
And
have
you
an
to yours.
amazing family that I love. And I know your wife,
Thank you
I
so
know your
much.
mom.
Yeah.
Just said everyone my love, okay?
Sure will.
All of
And
you.
love to all of you, to you and all of yours.
Oh, thank you
And to
so
everyone
much.
in our chat.
Yeah, thank you so much, Spell Squad, for being here. We had a big full house today. I hope you join us next week. Next week, my guest is supposed to be Madame Nadia. I'm going to confirm with her. She's like, I think I can do it, but I haven't gotten the confirmation. So if it's not Madame Nadia, it'll just be me by myself. But either way, we'll be here
Two
next
madams,
week.
no waiting.
I know, 2 madams waiting. Hopefully it'll be both the madams together, and you'll have that next week. If not, it'll be just me. I'll be here. So we'll get together and we'll answer your questions. Thank you again, Professor Porterfield, for your
Thank you.
bringing all your wisdom, all your experience, all your great information, answering questions. And it's just a delight to have you. So we'll have you on again in a few months. Okay.
All right.
All
Shalom
right,
alaikum to everyone. Shalom alaikum.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a great week, you guys. See you next Sunday.
Bye-bye.